Hey, what's up, guys, and welcome back to another Real Madrid review. Real Madrid 2, Benfica 1, 3-1 on aggregate. Real Madrid go through. Look, I'm not going to hype it up like I've said so many times over the past few weeks. I'm going to take it game by game, and if we talk about this game, well done, well done to the team. It wasn't a particularly great performance, and ultimately I thought Benfica were really good for whatever reason, and I am frustrated in multiple things, and I kind of want to talk about them first to get them out of the way. A lot of negatives, and I'm sort of talking right now in terms of the frustration and the upsetting side of it. But how are with all that happened last week, sorry, at Benfica, and all that sort of Prestiani thing and Real Madrid, you would expect that sort of mental character to come true. And first of all, Benfica started the game like they were the home team. And second of all, it's so disgraceful, by the way. Vinny Jr. was getting booed, and you could hear it very clearly. Now, it's obviously not Real Madrid fans making the boos, so how is it that a couple of thousand away Benfica fans are able to produce a louder noise and atmosphere than the however many tens of thousands of Real Madrid fans? And people are gonna say, oh, glory hunters and blah blah blah. And personally, for me, I have been labeled that before, and ultimately, if you're not a if you're not a Spanish person and you don't go to games on a consistent basis, you're gonna get caught that. You're gonna get caught a glory hunter. And I debunk that. I don't think the criteria of being a real fan is, or you have to go to games, or you have to be in the stadium, or you have to be from the country. But what makes the difference between a real fan and a quote, fake one or glory hunter, whatever you call it, is obviously there. Like, you have to be there, and if you are there, by the way, like in terms of have to be there, of course, not everyone is fortunate enough to be able to go to games. And again, for me, I am not in a position where I'm gonna judge, but I'm just gonna say for myself, like obviously, if I could go to games, I would go to games, right? But there's a reason why I'm not. And ultimately, those who go to games, those who are more fortunate, or they are just, you know, fortunate, or they have obviously more abilities to go to games. You're going there for a reason. You're going there to support the team, to watch the team. So why is it that when you're there, you're not making full use of the fact that you're there, and make more noise, make the atmosphere, I'm not going to say louder because I don't even think that's what it needs to be. But yeah, part of it is to be louder. And look, I'm not going to criticize or judge anyone, like I said. I'm just saying that if I was fortunate and capable enough of being able to go, I would make sure that I am there to support the team and to back the team. And yeah, just, the fact that a couple of thousands of Benfica fans are hurt more than the Real Madrid fans. They're just there standing there and not singing, not, you know, supporting, really. And yeah, I mean, it's disgraceful, isn't it? It really is. But I thought that was really, really weird, really disgraceful as a footballing club to have that sort of look portrait onto you. It didn't look good, and it didn't feel good either. And I mean, yeah, I don't know what else to say because I genuinely didn't expect that until I was obviously watching the game. And I was like, wow, like that is really, really scary. The fact that that's happening, but what can I say? What can I say? We'll leave that verdict you know, to someone. Someone's have to have, an opinion or a say or something, right? Surely. I don't know what else to say because it's just my opinion. I'm sure there are people who are going to back that, they're going to defend it, they're going to say, oh, it's this, it's fine, it's whatever. And ultimately, it's different opinion and different views. But I feel like as it, that it really is a little bit shocking that that's happened. But anyways, just wanted to leave that at the start because I don't want to go all in negative. I feel like there were positives to take away. I feel like um, overall going through, it should not it should be a given first of all, and second of all, we shouldn't even be here to begin with. But sometimes you have to just count your blessings and take it as it is there because ultimately. And by the way, I'm recording this on Friday, so we have literally just seen a draw. I will make a separate video right after this. It'll be uploaded tonight, later on. So stay tuned for that. I'll react to the draw and I'll talk a little bit more about it in more details. But we're gonna play Man City, which Courtois and Arbeloa both said after the game, by the way, which they were right. I knew it was gonna be Man City. I think every Real Madrid fan knew as well. It was always gonna be Man City. Whether you think it's rigged or it's fixed or whatever, like ultimately it was always gonna be Man City one way or another. So we have got them now, and I believe the second leg is gonna be away from home, isn't it? So, you know, what are the likelihood that we win across both legs against Man City? None really, because we lost to them at the Bernabeu back in November, December, and I just don't see a way where we beat them. Because first of all, if I'm right to say that the second leg is away from home, and second of all, even if the second leg is at home, I think us as a team at home or away just isn't good enough. So count your blessings, live life while it's there, and while it lasts, while the happiness and joy lasts, just take it, and at least win the round of 16. So let's get into the game. Like I said, a really poor start. I think Courtois made 2 big saves in the first 6-7 minutes. Okay, I've done it, but whatever, screw that. And then Rafa Silva scores. Look, the cross goes in, and Raul Asensio, he's trying to clear it. He's trying to clear or block the cross from going across. I can see the intention, I can see the idea, but the execution was terrible because all he did was kick it straight into Courtois. It bounced off Courtois, nothing he could do because he's literally diving for it. It hits Courtois, it goes to Rafa Silva, and it's a tap-in, it's a goal. Like, literally, you could have said he could have just stayed still and not go into a sliding mode, right? He could have just stood still, the ball comes in, just kick it away, or whatever, right? The fact that he dived into it, and he still just kicked it straight into Courtois was horrible. But of course, Raul Asensio did go off with a really nasty looking injury. He's fine, thankfully, because it's not a normal injury, right? That really, he needed to be stretched off, and he was brought to the hospital and he was cleared afterwards. So I'm really, really obviously happy to hear that he's fine. Absolutely happy to hear that it's nothing serious. I think he will be out for a while, but I don't think it's that serious, at least. So yeah, thankfully it's fine for him as well. Just not even talking about football, but just as a human, right? But then literally straight away, I think Fede Valverde was down the right hand side. He puts in a really, really good cross, and Tchouaméni, what a beautiful goal. Look, I have still seen after this game people say, "Oh, it's his first game in it's his first good game in a year." What a load of shit. Aurélien Tchouaméni is the most consistent midfielder, I think, at the club. I don't believe he has had every game perfect, right? But he has had some poor games, but I don't think it's been as much or as poor as it can be with other players. Like, for example, even when Tchouaméni is not having the best of games and he's having a bad game, he is still obviously trying to win duels. He's still trying to make tackles and interceptions and clearances. Like, he's still doing a lot. Right. It's just that sometimes, obviously, he makes a lot of mistakes. And I think Aurélien Tchouaméni is the player in that midfield that links everyone together. Because if we don't have him, we'll be screwed. So people need to be more appreciative of him. Because it's all well and good saying, oh, we've got Camavinga, or oh, we can just play Thiago Pitache in that role. Absolutely not. You can't just stuck them in. And ultimately, the job of a number 6 is the job of a number 6. It's different than a number 8. It's different than a number 10, right? It is a number 6. And at this football club, the only player who can do that is him. Camavinga has tried, and he has not done well, unless he was in a double pivot with Tchouaméni, like we've seen against Olympiacos and a couple of other games as well. But I thought he was excellent. My man of the match for sure. People are gonna say I'm glazing him. Look, I just love him. I've been talking a lot of praise about him and Mastantuono recently, and again, it's not because of form or momentum or anything recent. I just think that as players, if you're given the squad that we have at Real Madrid, I just think for the balance, you have to have these kind of players. Of course, you have to have players like Mbappe and Courtois, but if you're going to build the spine, if you're talking about the spine, Mbappe up front, the midfield, the holding midfield, you cannot not say Tchouaméni. Like, what are you doing? So, for me, it's him. And then, the second goal, yeah, it had to be Vini Jr. Baila Vini. And last night, actually, funny enough, Neymar scored for Santos. He scored twice, I believe, but in his goal celebration, he danced at the corner flag, and he said it's for Vini. So really love to see that. Baila Vini, Baila Neymar. But yeah, Vini Jr. True. Fede Valverde with the assist again, 2 assists for him, and Vini Jr. just does a trademark Vini Jr. goal actually. Really composed, and sort of not really true 1v1. It's sort of like a tighter angle, but he just places it in, and really good goal. And he dances at the corner flag again. And I mean, the fact that he got a yellow card in last week's game for that is a joke still. I mean, he didn't get a yellow card, which obviously he's not going to get one. It's a celebration. It's a completely normal and fair one. But he got one last week. Like, what the hell? Anyways, those were the goals. The first couple of minutes, Benfica were better. Real Madrid gradually grew into the game. It was a really sort of, I wouldn't say boring, although it kind of was, but you were expecting a bit more, which ultimately we didn't get. And obviously there was the other Goulet goal, which was stupid. I mean, his arm was offside. And yes, if you're talking just offside, you take it plain value. Is he offside? Yes, because his arm is in an offside position. But you can't score with your arm. You literally can't. That will be handball. So why are they counting that as a goal scoring part? Like, it's not a goal scoring body part because you can't score with your arm. So that was stupid. Could have been 3, but who cares, right? Who cares? Real Madrid are true. Look, not much to talk about really, because ultimately I don't want to talk much about this tie, this leg, and because it's, yeah, because of what happened in the first one. So I'm gonna keep it short. Like I said, I will be back later on, I believe, with my reaction to the Champions League draw. And Real Madrid play on Monday night actually against Getafe. So yeah, that'll be it for today. Hope you guys have enjoyed today's video. Hit the thumbs up, subscribe to the channel on already, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.